Alright, what you see here is a Casablanca stealth stealing fan. So a 54-inch contemporary styled fan that Casablanca came out with in 1991, and they still sell to this day, though they aren't in as many finishes like this were before. I know they still sell them in brushed nickel and white. I'm not sure if those are the only two finishes, but they are still around to this day after 30 years. This one is a bit interesting because it is in the architectural white finish, and it has the Advent touch control. This one is from May 9th of 2002. I got this off of Facebook Marketplace over a year ago, back in January of 2021. Yeah, like it was like towards the end of January. It's a lot of snow out, so I was lucky that I didn't damage this fan because it was kind of icy at the house. But yeah, it was such a beautiful install. I wish I actually saw it like in person before it was removed. But it was on like an angled ceiling with like a white wooden ceiling and such, with this downrodic. But yeah, it was definitely looks like it was a really cool install. It was in the living room. They do have a second one of these, the cellar, but it does not have the wood-looking blades. It's just white. So it actually could be just another architectural one with white blades, or architectural white blades. I'm not 100% sure. All I know is that it's just white, but they still have my info in case they ever get rid of it, but I haven't heard from them, but they still have my info and such. But yeah. This one I actually got before the more recent one, the Hunter Blanca era one. I forget this finish. I think it's aged steel is the finish. So I've had this one before that one. It's just finding the parts to this one was kind of what postponed the video of this one happening. More so with the downrod and the hang true. The blades, motor, and such, the glass I already had together. It was just, I had brought it to the storage unit for a bit, and then I took apart the downrod and everything, but then it got misplaced. I see you located that, but the other issue was the hang true. I got this one at the restore that WeFire 88 volunteers at. I see he has some Casablanca parts stored away in the back. The original one I do have, but this one's in better shape. The other one got a little bit scuffed up since I had it at the storage unit. And that's the one thing I do not like about this finish, as it's very delicate. It does get scuffed easily. Any like finger marks, I mean, that's just one right there, but like, even if you were to wash it with like soap, it really doesn't do anything. So you'd basically have to like touch it up with whiteout, if anything. But it's still in very good shape, especially considering that it's 20 years old as of this year. Now, this fan, I really do like it on this downrod, and I just really love the finish combo. It's very early 2000s, which I really like. This is something I would definitely install. I don't know if I'd do it for a kitchen. I think it would look good in the kitchen, but I probably would do it with a natural white one, not the architectural white, just because the finish I feel would get more dirty looking quicker and harder to keep clean and looking good, whereas the white one is a lot easier. But I would definitely use these blades on it. But yeah. Now these fans have been sold for a while, like I already mentioned that. But let me go ahead. One thing is that's different is that these use a halogen bulb, whereas the newer ones use LEDs. So without further ado, let me go ahead and show the light. And the nice thing is this light does dim. I really do like how it looks with the light completely dimmed to the lowest setting like this. definitely does a good job lighting up the room. I am only using one of the spotlights behind me on this lamp instead of all three, or just, well, two of them. I use three of them for the iMovie ones. Only because since the fan hangs a bit lower, it's kind of, the second one doesn't really give it lighting. If anything, it makes it look too bright in the space. But yeah, also you can just press it once, a second time, that dims it down halfway, then shut it off. I really like this in person. It really looks cool if it's really dark. I mean, on camera, it's after showing how dark it looks. Like it's like a orangey look, but from a distance, it doesn't show that. But yeah, I really do like how this fan looks. Now, there's something that's on this is called security. I don't really know what that is, but I'm not gonna mess with it. Yeah, I'm just trying to get the video done, so here it is, starting off on speed 1. It does make the beeping sound, which is nice. It's not the same as the IntelliTouch, but I do like that it actually makes a beep sound to it. Now this fan, like if I was able to install this in this apartment, I definitely put this in the dining room. I know some people would say that I should put something more ornate or more vintage looking in there. Now, I think those would look cool too, but this fan I think will be the perfect one for the fact that with the architectural white finish, it would definitely go with that popcorn looking ceiling in there and the medallion, and the maple blades definitely go with the walls and the flooring. And that's why I'd put this in there if I could. Problem is it's sealed off in the center, and I don't know if there's actually any electrical power going to it, so I don't want to like cut it a hole through it, find out there's something there, and then have to repatch it or end up damaging the medallion just by cutting it. So it'll just be a risk I feel it's not worth taking, especially if we're going to be moving out of here for the next 2 years. Now this I could put in the kitchen, but I'd rather not. I'd rather just leave the low profile pots there and save this for whenever we move out of here and put it up then. Could be a possible kitchenette, so it really depends on the kitchen. But I'm definitely gonna put up one of the shelves that I have whenever we move out of here. I'm not sure which one exactly, but it'll definitely go somewhere. Now to show it the white. Now this one, I don't know if it really has a board to it or not, like the IntelliTouch ones do. So I'm not sure how an LED would work on this if it would end up messing it up over time, because that is one thing I've heard with the LEDs is that sometimes they can like strain out the boards on these fans because they weren't really built to deal with like the low power that the LEDs draw compared to and such. So from what I've heard, like they kind of overwork the boards. If it was just a regular IntelliTouch one, I'd take the risk, but since this one's not IntelliTouch, I wouldn't want to take that risk. Same issue that I have with the black stuff that I have where that one's Comfort Touch. That I wouldn't want to risk messing up the board on that one, since that's the final replacement. Cover Touch board is definitely difficult. Alright, now to move it up to speed 2. Now this controller is honestly in pretty good shape, thankfully. I do know that these tend to look very gross over some time, but thankfully this one isn't. I know a lot of people have been waiting for me to film more Casablancas. I figured, I mean, the Hugger one, I know that was more of a Hunter era one, but not really anything special. But I figured to kind of come back with them, this will be a great one to do. Another thing, it's the one I've been wanting to test the most out of all the ones that I still need to test. That's because of how unique it is with the finish combo. Just a lot of them are IntelliTouch or 6-speed like this one, and I kind of need to like really space out the time to test them, and that's kind of the issue. So I try to test more of them like when I do test one like this. I try to do it when I'm actually having to go on free time to test. And that's where it's been the issue. That and locating the parts for some of them. But yeah, it came out of like some sort. I think the house it came out of. I don't know if people would classify it as this, but to me it looked kind of like a mid-century home of sorts, but just updated. I mean, the outside was like white brick. It was a white brick house and such. So I feel that it is just been more updated. That's how I consider it. But yeah. Yeah, I was really glad when I got this fan. And to this day, I'm really glad that I found it. It's just such a unique finish combo. I mean, I didn't even pay too much for it. I only got it for paid I think like $40 for it, so it was honestly a steal. And I'll show it to white. Like if I was to do a contemporary fan for a kitchen, it'd either be a white stealth, well, like a natural Snow White stealth with wood blades like this, or a Hampton Bay 1 or 2. Those are like the two contemporary fans that like I would definitely like have in the kitchen as a permanent install. This finish combo honestly reminds me when I tested the Casablanca. I think it was Palisades that I have, the white one with those Soala blades. It really does remind me of that. Alright, now to move it up to speed 3. No, honestly, like I'm really not a big fan of having a white fan in a living room, but this is actually one I'd probably make the exception for. The only thing is I wouldn't have white decor, so I wouldn't go with anything, but I know one of the blades is just a tiny bit warped downwards, so that's why it has a slight wobble to it. But thankfully it's not really affecting the alignment that much. Now show it the light. Alright, now to move it up to speed 4. A lot of people do tend to bash on Casablanca after Hunter acquired them, but when they first acquired them, they honestly really, in my opinion, helped the company with the XLP, because something that a lot of people don't realize is that the XLP motors with the blade pitch, that even though the blade pitch is just a little bit less than what they would have for like the K55 ones, they actually do perform a little bit better than the K55 era ones, based on like the specs and everything. And from what I've tested, almost all the XLP ones I've tested down here seem to do a bit better, but it depends how worn in the motor is. Occasionally I've had a few of the K55 ones do better. Like the K55 Stealth, I have the black one. Just a lot of people in the community tend to be more hardcore vintage collectors and such. They don't really appreciate the more recent stuff that fan companies have done. I mean, it does depend on the interest, but like, especially with the newer Stealths, for example, like with them being spinner motor and DC mode, that's definitely an improvement for them, considering the issue these would have, where the heat from the light would kind of dry out the flywheel over time, and with the weight of the blades and the blade hubs to them, like the blade arms, it causes the flywheel needs to sink down a bit, so sometimes these can end up scraping later on. This is something I can see in a more updated library, a loft department especially. Just had that look where it looked more reddish, like it was in person. Not sure why it's not showing it now. I do like the halogen balls just because of like the range of how much you can dim them. Is just the heat they produce I really don't like. Now for speed 5. I may have to try these blades on a few of my other styles, like the brushed nickel one and the snow white one. Not sure when that will happen, but something I definitely would do. It's definitely something I can like see like in a showroom in early 2000s, without a question. Yeah, it's like it gives me like the vibes like I remember from like the Windward 2 or Hand to Me Romano, just um, some other like contemporary style fans that are similar to this from the early 2000s. Like seeing installs of them and such. I was like this was the better one, but like places I could see those going in, I could also see this going in as well. It's definitely moving a good amount of air, which is to be expected. Yeah, like if I could install this in the dining room knowing that, like if I knew there was power up there, I would definitely like risk damaging the medallion a little bit just to install this. So since I don't know, I just don't want to do all that and then find out there's no power and then it's end up being pointless. The only thing I just don't get is there is a wall switch in that room, but it doesn't do anything in that room, whereas the one that's in my mom's room, it actually controls one of the plugs. This is the setting I was trying to get it to show up on. It's like very on. I really do like seeing fans spinning like with this coloration of a dome light. Like I remember I remember seeing fans like on a box art or just like a stock image having that type of light coloration. Definitely brings back a lot of memories seeing them like that. Alright, now to bring up to speed 6. It's definitely flying on a high speed. It's been a bit since I tested the completely white one that I have, but I definitely can say this one's going a bit faster. But then again, that one's bearings aren't really broken in. So it is a new unboxed one. Yeah, the camera can't even keep up with how fast it's going, which is to be expected. Who knows, maybe when I get my own place, I might have to put up 2 styles, because I really would have trouble deciding on like narrowing it down to just one specific one to install. One would be definitely one of the white ones, and then the other one would be either the black one, the brushed nickel one, or the aged steel one. And likely it'd be like either the white one or the with the wood blades, either this or the other one, or the black one with the roasted blades, or the brush knuckle one with the black blades. It really depends on the room they go in. Yeah, this thing is cranking a ton of air. Hangs a bit lower where I can't really go underneath it. I'm standing up straight without risking hitting myself on it, so I can't stand right directly underneath it completely. This is definitely a fan I'm really considering installing, like when I get my own place. Yeah, I do apologize for not being able to get the light to show up like this for the other for most of the speeds, but I'll definitely have it show up like this in the no commentary video, and the other one is just I do not want to redo the video just to show it like this on the other speeds. I know I shut it off. I was just turning it all the way back to the lowest speed, and when you turn the fan button on, it'll start off with the last speed you had it on. Alright, now for spin down. Yeah, like out of all the Casablanca fans I've acquired within this past year, this is the one I've been really wanting to get on video for the longest time. And I'm glad to finally get it tested. Like from the year 2021, like this was definitely up there with like the fans that like in my top favorite fans that I got from that year. Like it could very well be my favorite fan I got last year. And there was a lot of good fans I did get last year. Some I still have yet to reveal. But it's definitely one that I'm very glad to have. See, like right now, if I was able to, I'd put the black stuff in the living room with the rosewood blades. The only issue is I have more use out of the light that's on the Infinity, which is a spotlight, than the one on this. Just for that Pacific living room, that is. If I had track lighting in the background, then I would swap it, but I don't want to do that. And plus, there's really no way to connect without having wires going across the room just to plug into track lighting. Yeah, my mom won't let me put it, so let's get a track lighting in that room. But yeah, like when we do move out of here and put up the other different fans, I mean the ones that are here, I will kind of swap out quite a few of them of like being in use. Like the bathroom dressing room is definitely one. As soon as I like it, I definitely do want to give it a break and put up something else in its place. Low Profile Plus is definitely one I'd consider swapping, but it does depend on the new space. All right, now for the reverse. There we go. The Infinity is definitely one I consider keep having it as like a fan that's installed in a new place. Not sure if it would still be a living room one, but it's definitely one that I really do enjoy. And the one in my Panama in my room is definitely one I'm very likely gonna keep installed as my bedroom fan. I just like it so much. Some other fans I definitely will consider. I'm definitely thinking of installing the white one wood 2, the champagne Delta 2, the black and rosewood stealth, the Russian Echo 1 as well, the white stealth, this one, the Hunter Sella. Just a few like ideas. The Hunter Acre actually is probably, when I think about it, that's probably what would be the next bathroom fan. I mean, it's not damp rated, but I wouldn't really worry too much about that one because it's a newer fan I can always just get a replacement one of. And there is a way to actually butterize it in a sense. So it's more so the blaze that would kind of take the damage, but. Alright, now the speed 2 on reverse. Alright, now I'm gonna move up to speed 3. Gonna try to speed it up because I kind of have a feeling that I might run out of space again. That's kind of the other tricky part, is that with my phone only having a certain amount of space, these IntelliTouch or these 6-speed fan videos are definitely the trickier ones to do because they definitely take the longest to do, especially with how much space they take up. Alright, now for speed 4. I'm just gonna try to rush it just to get the video finished. Definitely wobbles a bit more in reverse, which I'm not surprised. But what I am surprised is that it didn't really wobble on speed 3 when on the downdraft it actually did. Alright, speed 5 on reverse. Right now it's week 6. As you can hear, just like hear the speed of it and such. That's one thing I love about the South and windward chews is that you can get the white to look like this. I bet you the hand-to-me Romano does the same thing, but I haven't tested that one yet, which I definitely need to get to soon. So, yeah, so that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more videos to come.